I am not a pedagogue. Hi, my name's Alex. I've argued enough for a lifetime. In this series of videos, I zoom in on the perspective science can give you. Find the playlist at the end of this one. 'Cause nature's complex, science isn't. I'll start with a quick disclaimer. I've originally written this piece in Norwegian for the Edugalaxen blog run by my friend Jan. You can check it out behind the link below. The text is worth translating into English to give you a little more background on who I am. It's a sort of companion piece to a video I link to often: Science, Leadership, Empathy, Story. See, after many, and I mean many years among pedagogues, it is rather clear to me, I am not a pedagogue. At the same time, I received quite a bit of feedback which only teachers get. You know what I mean. People seem to think that they have learned something from me. And people, quote unquote, were pupils, students, or even teachers doing a little CPD, continued professional development courses, that is. I am rather secure in calling myself a teacher. A teacher not being a pedagogue. Where's the contradiction? I'm not sure there needs to be one, but I'll let you make up your own mind. Now, I don't necessarily agree with the sentiment of people having learned anything from me. The last time I taught even a somewhat significant amount of activities was during my studying days, when I earned my study money as a teacher at school. After that, it was mostly others who had fun together with the pupils, students and teachers, with the maths, the rockets, magnetometers and whatnot. I mentioned Jan. Go ask him, he knows. We have taught together for almost a decade. With time it became more and more my job to set the table, or if you want to switch similes, to put down the different red threads, quote unquote, for people to find. The goal was to put down many of these in one and the same activity in order to see where the students wanted to take their new knowledge. Meet the person first, then decide what the learning outcome should and could be. It's as simple and as difficult as that. My YouTube channel is a little bit like this too. I don't know who you are, but I hope you'll find a red thread to follow for yourself. The attitude behind this has developed out of what is called situational leadership. We talk about leadership in a company, though, where results are measured differently from a classroom. There may be a rather strict framework in a company such that a manager/leader doesn't necessarily have the opportunity to let the respective employee develop in a close to random direction. Results count. So leadership theory has, to put it like this, developed away from situational leadership. To be quite honest, I don't really know why. The framework is exactly what reduces randomness in development. If one defines goals well enough for an employee who loves to learn, a lot has to happen for development to be anything but positive for everybody. Pedagogues know this. What if I had now written a simple, idealized development for an employee the way situational leadership proclaims it to be ideal? If you're a pedagogue listening now, see whether you won't find some similarities to your own thinking in this progression. Level 1, low skill, low confidence. Level 2, low skill, high confidence. Level 3, high skill, low confidence. Level 4, high skill, high confidence. There are underlying definitions and analyses, but it's these that leadership theoreticians argued about back in the day, and through my own work I found that the nuances of these arguments aren't really all that important. The point is to lead the respective employee to level 4 from different starting points, which in themselves don't need to fit in with the rest of the table. It's worth noting, for example, that the status of where one resides can change for different goals for the very same person. Think back to your school days. Have you been better in one subject than in others? Has there been a subject even in which the teacher could have just as well given you the task and let you have fun with it without any sort of follow-up? You just deliver the result and get that well-earned pat on the back. If yes, then your teacher was happy about it, I guarantee you that. At school, the curriculum determines more or less everything. Because of this, there are usually well-defined goals to be reached. If the goal, for example, is to learn about northern lights, then you are supposed to do that by learning about stars, radiation, and magnetic fields. Still, everyone has a different starting point for learning and developing, as well as a different path towards whatever the goal may be. I have always tried to give my students the metaphorical nutrition to keep them going when things got a little tough, in exactly the same way the leaders I admire the most have done it for their employees and for me. Here's a great example of what I mean. The minimum altitude of the so-called magnetopause around Earth. In order to find it, you need data from a satellite, which is a cool thing to look up, but you'll end up having to solve a 6-degree equation. Of course, you may be really good at solving 6-degree equations. Which of the 6 possible solutions is the right one, though? In one course Jan and I taught together, we connected this exercise to the afternoon of misery. That's not our words. If you set the right framework, however, and follow up with something worthwhile, then the chance of people losing interest isn't really high at all. I will never even think about measuring myself up against actual pedagogues who have so incredibly much more knowledge of learning and teaching than I do. Without Jan and his expertise, for instance, it would have never made sense to set up a whole afternoon of hardship for a group of teachers on a week-long vacation, quote-unquote, in northern Norway. So no, I'm no pedagogue, but I'm thankful for being allowed to be a teacher for a while. Now I'd like to hear from you. What is your background? Are you a teacher, a manager, a parent? Are you a student? Do you recognize some of these ideas from your daily life? From your manager at work? Comment down below and let's talk.